Alright, the questions in this video are going to involve imaginary numbers. One important note is with the enhanced ACT, it seems like they might not be giving us the definitions of imaginary numbers. So historically, the ACT would put things like this in the problem, like I equals square root of -1, or I squared equals -1. It seems like they may not be doing that with enhanced ACT, so these might be two good rules to memorize. So moving on to our problem, they're asking us for the product of 3 times the square root of -25. So product means multiply. And whenever we have a negative under the square root, we can pull that negative out by separating square root of -1 from whatever other number is remaining here. So here we're separating our -25 and the square root of -1 and square root of 25. So you know from the definition here that square root of -I is going or square root of -1 is going to equal I, and then square root of 25 is going to equal 5. So we have 3 times I times 5, 15I. Our next problem here involves adding imaginary numbers. So when we're adding imaginary numbers or subtracting imaginary numbers, they're basically treated like a variable, like an x. So we can't combine those with our numbers on their own, but we can combine them with other things that contain I. So for this problem, we have 7 plus 3I plus 9 minus 4I. We can combine our 7 and 9 and get 16, and our 3I minus 4I and get minus I. So that is going to give us our answer B here. All right, for our final question here, this is going to involve multiplying I by I, which would end up with I squared. And like we talked about the first question, I squared is going to equal -1. So with this problem, our first step is going to be to distribute. So we're going to end up with 28I plus 8, and then since we have an I times an I squared. Then for the second part, if you remember that we're distributing that negative along with the 3, so we're going to end up with -3 minus 15I. So we know from our last problem we can combine our I terms with our I squared here. If we look at our answer choices, none have I squared, and that's because they're wanting us to use this rule. So if we switch our I squared out for -1, we end up with -8 there. We're combining our -8 with our -3. We end up with -11, and then our 28I and -15I give us 13I. So we have answer choice D here.